Press Tambuwal, calling him the hero of the convention, which means there was a private arrangement that was done with Tambuwal to shortchange other contestants, including Governor Wike.
Was supposed to be a referee.
And here was a referee who now helped one of the sides to score a goal and then blew the whistle that a goal has been scored. This is not what we formed the PDP to do for Nigerians. And therefore, we unequivocally ask that IU has to step down.
The PDP members are also quick to point out that their support for Governor Nyesom Wike is not because he lost the presidential primary or because he was not chosen as the vice presidential candidate of the party, but because of equity and justice in the PDP.
You cannot build on a faulty foundation. Therefore, this call for the chairman to step down or resign is not because any of us is aggrieved, but because we believe it is important to ensure a fair structure, a just structure, a principled structure, a constitutional structure for the party. If we want to restructure Nigeria, we should have the courage to restructure our party.
The latest development is surely another setback for the PDP in its quest to win the next general elections in Nigeria. And as the showdown continues, political watchers warn that the party might just be the architect of its own defeat if it fails to put its house together.
We hope that the powers that be will listen to the voice of reason and do the needful.
It is smoky Igbo. It is taking them.
All of them. The smoky Igbo. They're taking their Wike's voice. Let me tell you about this scheme, all right? Because you can tell that there is no escape. As long as you keep shouting one Nigeria, one Nigeria, one Nigeria, it is like it's like catch-22. There's no escape. Anywhere you run, you are running into something that is not good. That's why most of us are saying that we should build influence. We should build sort of a massive influence within the grassroots, within the people, and uproot all these rogues who are misrepresenting now, for example, in Yoruba land, uproot them out of the entire system, right? And then see if living Nigeria is not going to be as easier as you would probably want it to be. I mean, in my own opinion, anyway. Do you get that now? So here is what is going on in PDP again, okay? You know this, that it was the Atiku, Saraki. I'm looking for those who have who had teeth to bite at the time, from PDP, who mobilized the state governors, assembly members, national assembly members, and everyone from everywhere from PDP to form APC that gave the lifeline, this biting venom to Bokuwari that is biting and stinging everyone now. As you can see, it was them. And the reason why they said they did it was because of zoning, power rotation. Northern Nigeria would do it. Southern Nigeria would do it. Something happened. They couldn't manage it, and they had to leave. And then what? They killed PDP. Fast forward to 4 years after that, Atiku, who relocated to Dubai, returned back. It's about structure to them. Structure is the loyalists who have been given things in the past, or those who are benefiting something from their group in the system in the present, and those they have promised to be made bigger or that if they have more influence in government, and all of those people are the structure. So Atiku doesn't really have to, like Tifnumbu as well, okay? All they need to do is just call the meeting and everybody will assemble. And then they will what do you call it? They will read their own allegiance and all that. And that's it. 4 years after they destroyed PDP out of power, they came back and they took over the party again because they wanted to kick out APC. When that didn't work, right? Atiku returned back to Dubai, enjoying his life. On your He returned back to Dubai. Then again, fast forward to 4 years again, he's back. This time, he's now meeting a sort of a more, robust PDP, which Wike has been funding since 2015. So Wike had a dream, but it was Tambua that first went to him to say he wants to be president. Wike said, oh, that's fine. I'll support you. In fact, I'll campaign for you. They were good, close friends, according to them. And that was why Wike went to town and he started saying, no zoning, nothing like zoning. We should let everybody go to the field. In fact, it's better the power, we get somebody from northern Nigeria to help us defeat APC. Although he has forgotten that, or maybe he hasn't, or maybe he has forgotten, I don't know. So because of Tambua and his relationship with Tambua, Wike, who couldn't remember the Southern solidarity back then, he went on all his own people there in the South, tear them up, all of that stuff. Cut the long story short, on the day of their primaries, Nigeria happened to him. He hasn't recovered since then. Okay? So Atiku emerged again. Somehow, Wike felt so betrayed and he's been throwing tantrums for the past 2 months or so. Well, in his demand, they wanted Atiku to tell the party chairman to go so that they can put somebody there. But what they are not telling you is that it is not about any chairman. No. That's why I told you that all of you should be very, very careful for beating your chest that Tifnumbu is going nowhere. I'm not saying this because I want you to see it in a good way, okay? I'm just saying it to you because there are some things deeper there that, I don't know what you're banking on. Obi will surprise everybody and all of that. That's great. I'm telling you free of charge. If you think Tifnumbu as geje as he is, right? Is probably, a no-brainer. Well, I'll tell you to think again. In fact, think again very, very well this time. So the purpose is just to ensure that they have something in, but their party constitution, PDP constitution says, if Aju goes, then a Fulani man is going to be the PDP acting chairman. That's their constitution. You know that. And then they are saying to everyone that the reasons why they are angry is because since Atiku is from the north, Aju is also from the north, even though Aju is from Benue, okay? And Benue is middle belt, not the north, okay? But they are saying it's from the north, therefore, this chairman should come from the south. In a nutshell, I don't know what they are pushing, but the point here is now, I don't know why they are, but the point here now is that, they have pulled out of Atiku's campaign. Atiku released the campaign names of past thieves, current thieves, future thieves, and the rest of those that are shouting unifier, fire, and the rest of that. So they can't put Wike's name as member of. They can't make Tambua the campaign DG, the campaign whatever for Atiku. So I think at that point they just felt like, you know what? Let's go and take Tifnumbu's deal. Let's take Tifnumbu's deal. Tifnumbu's deal is, I'll tell you that too, where Wike is 100% so sure that, he's going to win the governorship for his own person in Rivers State. Seyi Makinde is also double sure that he has done so well in Oyo that he's also going to get back, okay? So maybe a little help here and there will just make things smoother if they play along with Thief Numbu. Remember, they have met. Wike confirmed it. They met in London. They met in Port Harcourt. In all their meetings, right? The deals they gave to the PDP governors on the side of Wike is that all of the APC candidates contesting in those states for governor, right? They are going to be kind of slowed down so that they will allow the PDP, choices to win those states like Rivers states, states like Oyo State. I'm using the two because these two are prominent in all that is going on. They may not have told you that. Oh, you may be hearing me right now. I'm right now and say, "Koto koto wolele," don't worry. It is about to happen now, okay? Because since Atiku, is likely not going to, even if they send their chairman away, okay? At the end of the day, that is not the goal. The goal is to ensure that what they did to Jonathan in 2015, Atiku suffer the same thing, right? In the hands of this weakest rebel. Do you get that now? And they will only do that if they have a deal with the ruling party, APC, Egbekegbe. Same thing, Obasanjo offered AD governors in 2003. Majority of them lost out at the end of the day, okay? So that's the plot. And, like, don't worry, we'll keep you safe. I will tell all of you to kind of slow down. So Atiku can forget southern Nigeria, at least as things are now, okay? They say he should forget southern Nigeria because they are not going to be part of his campaign. So Atiku has responded and he said, fine. If that's the case, fine. Ayu is not going anywhere. Because if you remember Saheed Osupa's song, there's this Saheed Osupa song that said, Ikú tó pa ládìyẹ ṣó gbọ́dọ̀ tún pè léwúrẹ́. Ikú tó pa ládìyẹ kò gbọ́dọ̀ tún pè léwúrẹ́. The kind of death, the kind of death suffered by a goat farmer. By a chicken farmer, the way we plotted to kill the chicken farmer, that same style should never really work for a goat farmer. And I'll tell you the story according to that song. According to that song, it was, what do you call it? It was the chicken farmer who had a wife, and that chicken farmer's farmer's wife was cheating on him with a goat farmer. And because the goat farmer wanted to marry her, so they conspired with other people and said, let us, kill the chicken farmer so that I can inherit his wife. Are you with me? So they killed the chicken farmer. So the goat farmer inherited the wife. So the other night, a cow seller or a cow dealer, now shown interest in the wife of the goat seller. When it was advised on how to do it, they said, we just have to kill the goat farmer if you want to marry his wife. Okay? So how did they kill the chicken farmer? They said, just make sure that if you want him to come out in the middle of the night, go and disturb the cage. He's keeping the fowl, he's keeping the chickens. He's going to come out. When he comes out, we'll kill him. That's exactly how they killed the chicken farmer. So for the goat farmer, who was part of those who killed the chicken farmer before he married his wife, they said, if you want to kill the goat farmer, disturb his goats, the herd, open the gates and make sure that so he's going to come out. When he comes out, we'll kill him. Then you, the cow dealer, you can marry the wife. So when they came in the middle of the night to the goat farmer's house, they started disturbing They started disturbing, what do you call it? One moment. I have somebody who might probably be distracting my friends in the comment section, especially on YouTube. I found a name, one weary, and I'm not going to possibly just have to mention. Okay, so we'll just have to get him out of there. So if you see another person who is actually there, who is creating any sort of a nuisance, okay, we know them. Let me know. I can get them to watch silently and quietly without disturbing others, okay? So when they came, the goat farmer was like, he remembered how they conspired to kill the chicken farmer. So he chose never to come out. The following day, he started singing, he said, should I experience the same fate like the chicken farmer when I was there, when we killed him? You get what I mean now? So Atiku is like that, goat farmer, okay? Where the Wikes and co and camp, they are asking Atiku to do what they asked the Northern Nigeria asked Jolantan to do before they cripple him. Do you remember Muazu? How many of you remember Muazu, PDP chairman, when they kicked out their chairman and they brought in Muazu? Ashe Muazu is part of the gang that the Northern Nigeria was going to use to get the power to return back to Northern Nigeria, even within. You remember him? You remember Muazu? So if you see, on Facebook, right, Lagos Abobakus, as suffering and smiling as they are, okay, Facebook seems to have a feature for them. They can be part of this broadcast. They won't see video. They will just be seeing comments. When they see comment, they will be responding comments. It's called the free view or something like that, okay? So on social media, on Facebook, if you see the Lagos Abobaku, these ombud slaves and obedient fools, right? Let's leave them there. Or if you see any of those wearies on YouTube making any of those, snare remarks and all that, please let me know. I can take care of them from here, okay? They will never show face again. Do you get that? Or at least not until this session is over, okay? So what they did to Jolantan, when the pressure came so high, they told Jolantan that, okay, now that you want to go for second term, and it's supposed to be the Northern Nigerian's turn, we want you to remove that party chairman. I think their chairman then was Bamanga Tuko or something. Abi? Was it Bamanga Tuko? I'm not sure. Do you get that now? So they removed him. They brought in Muazu, who is in on it. Muazu was one of those who first, congratulated the Bokuwari. They have the first set of people who told Jolantan that you are on your own. No? As it be so, you better just do something because as it is, we know they with you. You're on your own. No. The rest they say is history. So Atiku, no one made them play the same game. In play the South. The Southerners are now rebels. With a Wike and the rest of them pro-one Nigeria for their selfish reasons for the past 7 years, who kept mute and quiet with all this disjointed union. It's not even a union, is that? You get that now? So they kept mute. Now they are rebels who are also going to help APC, Egbekegbe, to revalidate una suffering. Seriously. So we got that, and that is why Atiku now responded. Mba. They say, you must go. He said, Mba. Babu. Babu, like. So what they have to do now is to say, well, you should forget the Southern Nigeria. We are asking you, we are telling you, the only reasons why they want to be president or be this or that is because of it's because of the return that Nigeria gives to them and them only, not you. You can break it up and break the chain, break the slavery, break every other thing. It's not just going to be from Nigeria. It's going to be from the same people who have been shortchanging you for so long. But if you choose or you think doing something again and again and expecting a different result is actually going to be the way out of it, then you better think again, because Nigeria economy don't go. Bafuka, Vamus, Sefini, finished. The inflation in Nigeria is at its worst. If you want to, sometimes if you want to really be honest, right, with what they have turned Nigeria into and Nigerians into, some of you watching me right now, Lagos Abobakus, unboot slaves, obedient, full, sophisticated morons, all of you, Buhari Dins, Buhari Diderins, Buhari Dinotus, Buhari Dijatus, and mean, yeah, bandit, social media adsmen, and the rest of you. Your world is collapsing. And you actually think you are doing anybody. You are not doing me, oh. Yeah, thank God, oh. Thank God for my life, oh. Sure, you get me now. At least I know rich, I know poor. When I say I know rich, I know poor, it means say I dey middle. And staying in the middle in what life is today, Baba, if you get God where you deserve, you go to thank him. You go to thank him and dance and thank him. You know why I said that? The whole world is experiencing what I don't know, maybe now catastrophic, I don't know. You know, I'm trying to find the right word for it. The whole world is in turmoil. The whole world is in the point I'm making here is this, okay? It is not easy for anybody all over the world. Countries are running into deficit, into debt, into shortages, into inflation. You know, we in the UK, we are facing what is called the cost of living crisis. Are you with me? Cost of living crisis is that if I want to, I have to choose if I have to make sure, if I have to eat, or if I have to put the gas in my house so to make sure that I want to keep warm. Now, that is the kind of poverty in the UK, right? But you see what you have in Nigeria, to explain it to you first. There is no template for it anywhere in the world. To say, oh, it happened somewhere before. Oh, no. They are lying to you. Do you understand me now? Okay. Nigeria debt is 42 point official. They say 42.8 trillion. That is 103.55 billion. I mean, $103.5 billion. Okay. You see, the UK, the depth of the UK's debt. This one I'm not going to use all these economic phrases, so those things can be confusing. So don't expect that. Okay, I'll go explain them to you in a very simple language. Do you get that now? Because economy or no economy, if you get 500 naira for pockets, if the 500 naira could buy you, the meal of, the meal that could feed you for 2 days, and now that 500 naira can no longer feed you for even a single day. Okay, if anybody is throwing about figures, speaking grammar, they are not talking to you. They are trying to confuse you. Okay, now in the UK, the economy as it is, you can say is is sort of kind of a shaky in a way. You know why? Because of the cost of living crisis, which is going to make living normally like this, paying your bills, feeding, and other stuffs like normal people do, right? But even at that, that is not caused by just because UK is borrowing money. Okay, most of this is now caused because it's caused because UK is relying on some certain essential services, goods that UK is not producing. Okay, which means wherever they are, wherever they are going to be sold is going to be determined by those who are bringing them. This major thing is just gas and petrol. Do you get that now? In Nigeria, right, your government borrowed, they borrowed $103 billion that they squandered, okay? And they borrowed it against your naira. Now, borrowing it against your naira, which has now crashed your naira to what it is today. In other words, right, that simply means every trade you are involved in as a country, holding that your naira, any trade you are involved in, the people that will decide what is the value of that your naira are these people that you are going to be trading with. Okay. Now, in the UK, okay, an average household would at least make over £2,500. Now, £2,500 into housing, into food, and the rest of that, or even paying for paying for your rent and all that. That means you see that £2,500, it is still the £2,500. The value is still £2,500. The only thing that we steal from that £2,500 is the inflation. And that inflation, you can see, they will say, oh, we now have a 6% inflation. Do you want me to explain what that means, right? For people like us living here, they have increased our minimum wage, by the way, okay? Right? Now, this can of juice, let's say in January, yeah, we were buying it for 50 pence. 50 pence. Now, when this inflation hits us as it's eating us right now, this can is now being sold for 79 pence. Do you see the difference? 29 pence increase. It's still not like going to be up to £1. You get that now? Now, as they are selling a can for 79 pence, there's going to be another option where you can get it for that same 50 pence in a different kind of packs and all of that stuff, okay? Now, this same thing happens to every other simple things we buy. Now, what does that mean? That simply means that if I go to the shop, for example, and I normally spend, let's say, £200 on groceries for the family. Because of this economy that we are in the UK now, yeah, that same grocery is now costing me, instead of £200, it's now costing me about £222. That means I'm spending more, £22 more. Okay. Now you see that £22 on my grocery, that can be for all other things as well. That is the inflation we are facing. Okay. Meanwhile, on your own part, as your job, your money is still your money. The value of your money is still your money. In Nigeria, when you are buying this can of juice for 50 naira in January, okay? So today, and this happens every week, by the way, today, that can of juice could be sold for 200 naira a can. Now, that is like what you used to buy 4 cans. You will use that to buy just 1 can now. So let me give you another example. You were buying a bag of rice for 7,500 naira, right? If I'm coming back to that. Look at this can of juice. When I came to this country, a can of Iron Brew, this juice was, if you want to buy it in shop, single, it was a 49 pence 10 years ago. 49 pence. If you go to shop today, you are going to buy it for 69 pence a can. If you are buying a single can, 69 pence. 10 years after I came to the UK, it has increased by 20 pence. 10 years. 7 years ago, a bag of rice was 7,500 naira, right? So today, a bag of rice is 35,000 naira. Despite the local production that they are talking about, right? That didn't help. I'm using that as an example as well. But you see, when I came to this country 10 years ago, the minimum wage in this country back then was somewhere around £6, 50 pence. £6, 70 pence or so. 2012. Today, the minimum wage in the UK, right, is over £9. Okay? So that means in space of 10 years, an hour, you now have an extra, about extra £4 to what it used to be. So which means, as this can increase by 20 pence, my salary already also increased. My earnings expected to increase. It doesn't mean that it's going to be enough to what it is I'm going to need eventually. But as they are increasing in bits, mine is also increasing. Do you get that? So in 2014, 2015, a bag of the minimum wage in Nigeria was 18,000 naira. And an exchange rate between the naira and the dollar back then was 199 naira to a dollar. Today, yeah, a bag of no, hang on. Yeah, today, a bag of rice, which is somewhere around 35,000, between 35 and then 40,000 naira. The minimum wages has been increased to 30,000 naira. Okay, so now see the shift. In 2015, when minimum wage was 18,000 naira, somehow, you could buy a bag of rice from your salary. Do you know that? 7,500, and you still have some money. Today, the minimum wage is 30,000 naira. A bag of rice is 35,000 naira. So your minimum wage cannot even pay for a bag of rice 7 years after that. Now, that is the economics. Okay? So every other thing can follow as you have experienced or are experiencing them every now and then. All of this, right, have no clearer end in sight. You know it. They can only promise you this, promise you that, do this, do that, and all of that. They can say everything to you. But the pointers are there. They have ruined and wrecked the economy. I mean, I know some of you probably feels like Peter Obi has a miracle to perform, and therefore you have something to show them. And I think Obaseki believes you too. He has something to say that I'm going to share concerning what Nigeria has become and how the power that be probably are not prepared for what is coming. Listen to him.
All of you, I am sure, are watching developments in the country very, very closely, particularly the evolving political developments. One thing is becoming clear. Nigerians are now getting fed up with government and the people who represent them in government. And you can see that in their reactions on social media and where passions and emotions are headed. So, for us as government, and representatives of our people, I believe we will be hurting ourselves a lot if we fail to ignore these changes that are occurring and believe that things are still the same. That we've seen it before, where the ones are here. Government is for government and the people in government. We will all be shocked as we begin to see. I think democracy is maturing, and people are now beginning to realize that they demand a lot more from the people in government and the people who have responsibility to manage their resources, their collective resources. And thanks God to technology, thank God to what's happening in the rest of the world, they are going to demand. People are going to go out and vote their interests. Nobody, let's not kid ourselves. Nobody, no political party today can, thump their chest and say, next elections, we will have clear victory. Because people are watching. The only reason why people will leave their homes to come and vote is because there's a reason for them to. It's either they are voting against something or they are voting for something. If they have not benefited, they are not likely to come out there to even show interest. So,
talking about when people will react and what is going to follow. He also had this to add to it as well.
We're shifting from that worldview where it was all about talk about hype, about creating a myth, and then try to go and justify it in the polls by doing all sorts of magical things. It is not possible again. From people who ask, what have you done for us lately? That what you promised us, you did not deliver. Our road has not been done. Look at floods, how it's ravaging us, and you want us to vote for you? You think we are fools? That's how people are going to react. And nobody will be spared. So the politician gets kicked out of office if he feels that he hasn't performed. The new group of people will come in. They will not spare the civil servants either. They will put pressure on them. We are fortunate in Edo that we have laid out a roadmap. We saw this coming and we anticipated it. But the challenge we're having is we're having a lag effect. Many people still don't believe and are not pulling their weight as they should. They still think that we have time, that things will happen the way they've always done.
Give that to him, okay? He's always going to speak his mind, but there is more to that. He knows that even though they said that do not be Lagos, one thing is certain of is that there is something brewing that all of us can see, whether for blind this or whether for the right that or whatever view. They are about to, something that you've never really seen before is about to happen. And the end goal or the end result of it, even those who have seen more, or should we say, more challenges than this in the past, they're going to tell you that we've never seen anything like this before, because a divided, polarized country, courtesy of APC, Egbekegbe, is about to witness the 7 years or 8 years of their misrule, their ruin, their destruction, and every other thing they've done to you. So the people, they are just about to feel it. Now, that is not going to completely be your own making, even if you have been in their pants all this while, in the bed and all that with them. But the thing here is that it is going to touch everyone this time around. Trust me. Economically alone is enough for this elite, the political class and the rest of them, to lose everything in a single sweep. Okay, and with what Nigeria is currently pointing, I will advise you, okay, be prepared as always, because even them have no idea where this is going to end. You shouting Iwolokon, you may end up shouting Egbamile in Togo, in Benin Republic as a refugee, with what they are already cooking. You are not prepared for that. You are shouting Emilokon now. Continue. I just hope you will have the strength to shout and scream and cry. Egbamile, help me, sir, because what they are building and brewing, none of them is for a united Nigeria. Or if you haven't been paying attention, or if you have been part of those who have been in bed with them, so far so good, you are destroying yourselves. You don't see it now. I told person that I'm nobody's enemy. Don't see me as your enemy. Oh, why did you hate? I don't hate anyone. In fact, if you are looking for somebody who should be your best of the best pal, that should be my ego. But it's so unfortunate that that is going to cost you the slavery chain that they currently put over you. But if you are willing to drop that, then I'll be your friend, and you would never regret that. They won't manipulate you. They won't lie to you. They would not give you this false hope that has turned many of you to zombies, lunatics that don't even know their left from their right. And that's why I said that wherever your choice is right now, just make sure that you understand them very well. One of them is this: self-destruct. It is called, if you ask me. Over 19 million out of school children in Nigeria. Oh dear. In 7 years, story alone. Do people actually really think or reason at all? all these 19 million children, they are the future criminals that are going to indeed make life miserable for you, miserable for your children, miserable for everything that you hold dear. You don't think, because your criminal leaders have made it impossible for you to think and think right. Self-destruction, we call it. In a way, we have 19.8 million out of school children. Do you get that? Children that are supposed to be in school, but they are not. But Nigeria is losing over $2 billion to oil thieves. Do you think ordinary man can steal crude oil and put it and load it on vessels and then sail out of Nigeria every day? 700,000 barrels of crude oil every day. Ladies and gentlemen, you are living in a Kabbalized Nigeria, controlled by gangs, militant cabals, and the rest of them. And you are just there waiting, what do you call the waiting victim, so to say, if you haven't been caught up in it already. 19.8 million children out of school because they cannot, their parents cannot afford to send them to school, or they don't even have parents at all, and the system has abandoned them. Up north, they've turned them to Almajiri. Down south, they are being, trafficked all over the world, being sold off. Many, many of them like that. Out there, right there, just right in your faces. 23 years of democracy, for goodness sake. 23 years ago. Many, many of you never got the opportunity to get a real education. 23 years after that, look at you today. Grown-up adults, nearly. And I mean, nearly a man, or should I say, well, you're already a man. 23, that's massive. Yeah? They have no plan for you. And here we are. We are going to take 19.8 million of them to the future. And you are complaining about Boko Haram, ISWAP, complaining about kidnappers, complaining about this and that in a system that they deliberately made so. So you should probably drop that hypocrisy at this point and stop lying to yourselves. They are failures, stare them in the face. But many, many of you, because of waiting you on a one chop, or waiting on the chop, or waiting you the dream of chopping, chop, 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 you ended up, covering up things that are going to later come back to haunt you. So I've advised before, and I'm going to do it again just before I wrap it up tonight. I have my reasons for saying that if you love Nigeria, okay, at this point, the ideal thing is to support the breakup of the contraption. It is for your own good, okay? So every now and then, when we talk about all these things, it is not a competition. I've told you many times, this is not a competition, okay? I use the UK where I live as an example all the time, okay? In the UK, we have 4 countries, 4 nations, okay, that make up the Great Britain. And you know them. They are Scotland, where I live. There is England, there is Wales, and Northern Ireland. These 4 nations makes up the Great Britain. And they have their own, they have their own laws, they have their own economy, they have their own system. We all have our system in a way that there are those that are universal, there are those that are indeed regional. One of the pride I love about them is their money. You see, Scottish money. This is our 20 pounds. I keep sharing that most of the time. I'm sorry if this is too bright. I don't know if you see it, right? Now, this is a Scottish pounds as part of Great Britain, okay? Now, this 20 pounds is the same value of any of the English pounds you come across out there. I don't think I have any of the English here, right? Now, if you see 20 pounds, whether English, Irish, or Welsh, or Scottish, in this union, every one of them carries the same value as it is. In Nigeria, yeah, if everyone is allowed to run their affair as it should be, right, There are not just the currency. I use currency just to let you know how strong the agreement was for Scotland, Wales, Ireland, and then England to continue to coexist to this day. The ones that so many people are, in fact, campaigning to end as well. So there is mutual respect, regard, and all of that stuff concerning the indigenous people of these nations that make up the United Kingdom. That doesn't exist in Nigeria. You are lying to yourself with one Nigeria, this, one Nigeria, that. Meanwhile, you are putting targets on your backs. Whenever opportunity presents itself, you don't waste time in slaughtering yourselves. You don't waste time, do you? So if you want that respect, if you want that normal life, I mean, let everybody handle their own affairs. You don't need to wait for somebody from Kano or Sokoto, from anywhere, okay, before decisions that has to do with the whole region of a people is decided. You get what I mean now? And nobody can use any tribe, ethnic, or whatever to in any way truncate any of our own set goals and development as a people. You as a young person, that should be more important to you than whatever they are promising you in Abuja. Anyway. So, Nigeria that has, in a way, continued to ensure that the best brains, people who could contribute to our health sector, to our healthcare, to our education, those who could contribute to our own, even our own local content, infrastructural development, and all of that. Majority of you, if you're not riding Okada right now, you are probably on your way, or if probably you have left already. They are kicking the best of our own people out of Nigeria because of lack of the opportunity. Those who stayed back, they are staying back, going through the hell to keep the broken system, to keep it together in their little way until probably they are tired and they will be away too, right? So that system that allowed that, it's not a system that you should in any way be proud of or be ready to fight or tear anybody down for. But it is Nigeria, your food comes first. Most of you, your stomach comes first. Some of you even have money, but you're so scared of what poverty will be like since you thought you escaped poverty through the opportunity that political officers given to many of you, right? Now, to even like dream of you losing all of that by doing the right thing, is so scary that you rather keep this Nigeria together, and just sink with it. Ọlọ́run ní fún yín ṣe o. Ebi tó pa yín kú yẹn o.
Ìyá ti fẹ́ fọ́ orí anybody. Ebi ti fẹ́ lu ayé wọn fọ́. Ebi ti yà wọ́n ní wèrè.
So we just want to remind you that when you make all those decisions, right, they are not limited to you. There are people who are not part of that. I am one of them. But the consequences of all your actions are not limited to you. Okay? So UK is in debt. But my brothers and sisters, that doesn't have any effect on my life. I can live very well, drive my fancy car, fuel my car, take my kids to wherever I want to, even support family back in Nigeria. I do all of these things conveniently. Do you understand what that means? It simply means that those who probably borrowed in the name of the UK people, they invested that same money here. Why your own leaders, who goes all over the world, using your children, using your lives and your existence to borrow money. When they get the money to Nigeria, what do? They repackage them, put them in their private jets, and they fly them back here to the UK, all over the place. Even when you are sitting down there and say, hey, how much is the debt of America? So are you comparing the life you are living in Nigeria, indebted, impoverished Nigeria? Are you comparing that with the life of the Americans? Are you? Or are you comparing your life in any way with those living in the UK as well? Okay. I know some of your uncles who live abroad who continue to tell you that some of you, your life is cheaper in Nigeria. Your life is better in Nigeria. You see, abroad is very, very hard. Abroad is very, very tough. You need to pay your rent. Those of you who bought those lies, and many of you are lakpamashishe, ole, freeloaders, pickpockets, people who feels like somehow, they should just sleep and wake up rich. And then since that is not happening, messages like that will make sense to some of you idiots, okay? You see those your uncles and aunties who told you, who are telling you in Nigeria, that you see abroad is not easy. They are all suffering. After they pay their rent, they don't get any money again. There's nothing left and all of that stuff. Ask them, why haven't they returned back to Nigeria? Abi? Abroad no easy, abroad no easy. You humbled slaves, obedient fools, in your own slum, in that shitty slum that they have delved you into, Abi, in that life of hardship, life of slavery that you are witnessing there, they are telling you are still better. Oh, man, don't answer them. I don't think everybody where they are abroad. Now, the question you should ask yourselves is this: how come they haven't returned back to that cheap life you are living, that best Nigeria? That if they will tell you, they will say, hey, if you take out electricity and you take out security and all these things, there's nothing abroad. Most of these people abroad, they are suffering. You think say abroad, you say are suffering. We see them, all of them here in London. They are hungry. How come those who are telling you that? How come they are still abroad? 15 years, 20 years, 30 years, 35 years, 40 years. And you, the mumu in you, say, thank you, my sister. Oh, thank you. I told them, I said, even abroad, there's this brother. He's been abroad for the past 10 years. If you see him, mama no get you. Share that one too abroad. Even me that I'm here, I thank God for my life. Anyway, I thank God for my life. At least I'm not abroad. I'm doing better. You are not doing better, my brother, my sister. You are not. And that person telling you that nonsense, tell them to come back and live in a cheap Nigeria. It's so cheap to live there. And they are telling you that if you take out electricity, why don't you say if they give us electricity, I know go abroad. Why didn't they say that these people should give you electricity so that at least the only thing that is abroad is electricity? Oh yeah, give them electricity if you think it is about electricity, Abi. They should give it to you. But you be mumu. They call other people mumu. You think say you they wise? They never tell you say you be mumu. They are abroad. They are telling you about abroad. Meanwhile, you, codedly, you are praying to God. May they give you that visa. It's true, Jare, my sister. Thank you, Jare, my brother. Thank you. I told them everything abroad. All these people abroad. What is abroad? What is in that abroad, self? But everywhere they look for where they do giveaway. Bros do giveaway. Bros, urgent 2K. Bros, God don't bless you for abroad. I mean, you do okay where you do. But when it is the time for you to also experience what many of them are experiencing abroad, the good parts, they tell you don't deserve that. Continue suffering. Don't worry. Suffer. Continue suffering, Jare. Don't worry. You are born to suffer. So thank you, Jare, my sister. I told them, we are born to suffer. They are talking about abroad. Share abroad. They know they suffer for abroad. All of us, where they suffer for Nigeria. Share we get to it. What is even there in suffering? So what is even there? Are they not suffering abroad too? You want to suffer? Anyway, I'm just saying all of this just to let you know that you be mumu. And if it is working on you, it is good for you then, okay? Enjoy it. Just know that no matter all of you are, no matter what you are doing right there, just know that the consequences of your actions are not limited to you alone. Some of us are even better off. I thank God for mine. I thank God for my life, okay? And then to what I have, managed to do for myself as well. In the process, what I'm also able to do for other people as well. But in this case, if you want to really show it that you love Nigeria, look at me very well. Look at me. Yeah. If you want to show that you love Nigeria very well, you are going to join the advocacy for the peaceful dissolution of the contraption that nobody agreed to. Go and think about that. Okay. I'm going to take calls and then I'll take just a few calls. and we will call it a night. Okay. So, but before then, let me make myself a cup of tea. I've been drinking juice. I'll be back. Don't go anywhere.